Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Margaret Daramola, and today I am with the CEO and founder of Diaspora TV Switzerland, Emmanuel Mark Bamidele.
Thank you very much for inviting me, Margaret. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Pleasure is mine. So today we're going to be interviewing Mark. Mark Bamidele is the CEO and founder of Diaspora TV Switzerland. Today he's going to be sharing with us his journey from Nigeria to Switzerland. Thank you. Tell us a little bit more about yourself, who you are today and who you are now, before we go a little bit more deeper into your story.
Okay, let's talk it like this. I'm from a big family in Nigeria. My father, my mother, I have a picture here with me. This is my father, here is my mother, myself. I think I should be like some few months old there. We are a big family.
Okay, big family. So how was life growing up in Nigeria? What was your day-to-day life like? How was your upbringing and how was your childhood?
If I look back to how I was growing up, if I compare who is my father, we had everything. But I didn't know it, that we were rich, because money was never a discussion.
Yeah.
In my family, we had enough to live, enough to eat, everything we want to buy, we just have it.
Okay.
But at the other end, both my parents, they had different characters. My mother was someone who wants to discipline you to the extreme she could. And my father was someone who wants to pamper you.
How do you feel that merged into your character as a child, knowing that one was very, like you said, cold and one was very hot? Like, how did you go about things on a day-to-day, and what effect did it have on you as a child?
Only effect that I realized while I was a child, I didn't realize nothing.
Okay.
Because the moment what you are living is what you are living. But what I just knew was that I couldn't read and write until I was to the 5th class.
Okay.
And the reason was just simply I was scared of the cane.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
But that was it when I was growing up. But everything changed when I left primary school for secondary school. I went to a boarding school, student second home, Mayflower's boarding school.
And how old were you at that point?
I was 15. At the moment I realized nobody is going to beat me anymore. I knew it that no matter what, nobody would beat me. Okay. So it doesn't matter. So I was very comfortable. So it's no more about fear, it's about myself. Then my brain opened.
Tell us a little bit more about that and how that was for you.
Now, you know, in boarding school, I was in a school, the hostel is Mayflower School Hostel. Is in Ikene, where you is where you have the keys of the richest people in Nigeria. Okay. So in school, you see student parents landing in the field with helicopter.
Really?
Yeah, they come with exotic cars. So I got used to people who are rich. So I don't see any different when you tell me somebody is rich, because I grew up with them. Holiday time, they all go to London, America. And then I felt very important myself, not because of them, just because I felt very privileged that there's nothing these guys can do, I cannot do. And I don't think they are more important than myself, because their father was the governor and their mother was a minister or whatever. After all, I was doing better than many of them, and many were doing better than me, but nobody was doing better than me in everything. It's either you're better than me in mathematics, I'm better than you in chemistry, or you're better than me in chemistry, I'm better than you in physics. But there is no one you can tell in this school that we tell you in all subjects they can do better than myself. No.
So you would say that the environment in which you were and the people that you were surrounded by had a big influence on the way that you saw life, and the way that you saw your possibilities, and the way that you saw limitations as well.
Exactly. You know, one thing I want to point out is that being in the boarding school, we were given a kind of a guideline. Yeah. We have a time to sleep. We have a time to eat. We have a time to read. So we were being structured. And those structured played a role in my life. For example, every day at 5:30, we need to wake up Monday to Friday, and we had to run. Until now, I am still doing sports. Yeah. Until now, I still keep that rhythm of lifestyle. And the fact that you realize that some things you learn from people, from late Tai Sholareme, so rest in peace, he was always educating us every evening about life. He will tell you, the journey you were passing, many people have passed it before. You will never walk this life twice but once. So anything you want to do, you have to do it now. Then my mind opened, my vision opened. Then I realized that in my family, I could do better. I realized that what I consider as money or wealth, all the things we have, I wanted more. I wasn't getting enough. After that, I went to Federal Polytechnic in Bida to study agricultural engineering. Despite that, I still tell myself, I want more. And someone told me that in the Western world, you have more opportunities, but it's very competitive. So it got to a point in my life, things seems to be too easy for me. So I need something to challenge me. I couldn't find it. Everybody always think I was the best.
But
I was growing up like this. In this time, everybody was thinking I was the best, but I didn't believe I was the best. Then they said to me, one of my uncle told me, if you go to Europe, there you will be nobody. I said, okay, I'm going to give Europe a try. And since then, I started thinking of traveling to Europe. And I took my shot in 1999.
You did not want to stay comfortable in your comfort zone. And I think that's something that we can really learn from that, how people, even people around us, may try to keep us in our comfort zone or may try to set limitations, you know, into where we can go or what we can achieve. But it's important that we are able to know ourselves or know that we can do better, we can do more, that more is possible. And I believe that the fact that you were, you know, surrounded by people who had achieved so many things and were wealthy at a very young age, it gave you that inspiration to know that more is possible, that there is and there are more possibilities.
Yeah, I was actually seeing things like that. And while I was growing up, I always tell my friends that I would like to go to Europe one day and I would like to have a company there. And I always tell them I want to have an empire, just like a joke.
So you knew that even before you got to Europe, that you wanted to start a company?
Everything I'm doing today were already written by myself. I have a book where I wrote that I said, I will do this, I will do this, I will do this. So the moment I had the chance, I just jump on the train. And I'm just looking at my destination and I never see the obstacles. I just focus on the destination where I'm going.
That's amazing. So you came to Europe in 1999.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that transition. How was it the first time that you came to Europe? Tell us a little bit about that.
You know, I have been trying to go out of Nigeria since the early 90s, 91, 92. But my father was not in support of it. He said, what do you want to go and do? You need to finish your education first. Then in 1997, a friend of mine, he's in the United States now, Afis Adebite, he told me, he said, you know, I can help you get a Yugoslavian visa. Then he said, okay, what next? I said, no, you just only have to buy the ticket. I had $120 on me. And I boarded the flight to a destination I do not know anybody. And then I had a transit visa because by then, if you're flying through Air France, then you get a transit visa. Then they have transit A and transit B. Transit A visa, you can go out of the airport. Transit B visa, you can go out of the airport.
So which one did you have?
I had the A. So it means I was supposed to stay in the airport.
Okay, and so when you arrived there, what happened?
It was. I tell you, in my life, that was the most smartest move I've ever made in my life. When I got to France, in the hall, this arrival hall, first, I wanted to attempt. I said, let me try, maybe they will let me out. So I went to the counter. I said, oh, I want to buy something in Paris before my flight is in the next 5 hours to Belgrade. The guy looked at it and said, no, you have a transit A. You cannot go out. Only those with B can go out. I said, okay, thank you. Then I went back. And I said, I'm going to take my shot now. I look at my passport and I said to myself, it's time to declare. It's time to say I'm a refugee because I need a home, I need a place to stay, and I want to stay in Europe. But I cannot continue to Belgrade. And in this time, don't forget, in this time, there was this Yugoslavia problem. So when I got there, I was on the queue. I made away with my passport. I had no luggage on me.
So you had, okay. So you let go of your passport once you
Yes.
decided that this is the time I'm going to declare of a refugee?
Yes.
You tore it, you threw it away, what did you do?
I didn't tear it. I kept it somewhere in the airport because it was too beautiful to tear. And I spoke with it. I spoke with myself. I said, look, I don't want to patch you, but for me to move on, I need to let you go.
Wow.
But please stay with me because I love you. Then I
So
think
when you
it
were
was...
speaking to your passport, are you speaking to your identity? Or?
Yes, I was speaking to my international passport. I didn't tear it. Then I opened somewhere, I think it was in the toilet or somewhere, and I slipped it in there, and I left it there.
Did you have this idea in mind before leaving Nigeria, or did this come to you once you start in France?
Yes, I knew I have to get out in France. So when I got to France, then I approached the immigration guy. It was, before my turn was a lady in front of me.
Yeah.
I was at the back of the lady. And the guy took the passport of the lady and put something like this and was looking at it. And I said to myself, come on, where's this guy looking? I just passed the back of the lady. That was how I entered France. No checking, nothing. Because this time there was no removing of your shoe. Only one person was waiting for you at the entrance, or when you're coming out from the plane. They just have to look if you're coming down with an identity.
Okay.
After that is direct to the hall. There's nothing like scanning, nothing in this time.
Okay.
So then I entered France. Then I went out of the airport. When I got out of the airport, I saw a bus. I jumped into the bus with the hope of driving me away. The bus brought me back to the same hall. I said, wow, but I left from here. Maybe they were looking for me. So then I asked one guy. I saw some guys, they were like real African guy. And one was looking like a Yoruba guy. I went to him. I said, how are you? I was trying to speak with him. The guy cannot speak English. They were all speaking French. I said, so there are a lot of black people like this, don't even speak English.
Yeah.
It was like a culture shock for me.
Cultural shock, yeah.
Then I went into Paris with the train. I didn't even buy a ticket because I was thinking someone is going to ask me the money for the train ticket or something.
So which airport did you arrive?
Charles de Gaulle.
Oh.
That was Charles de Gaulle.
And then you took the train to Paris?
I took the train to Paris, and when I got to Paris, I just saw a lot of people were coming down in this station. Then I said, I think maybe not that this train take me somewhere else.
This is the place to come down.
This must be a place. I will not come down where people are not coming down. Let me follow.
How old were you at the time?
I was 22, 23.
Okay.
Then I came down, then I entered the street of Paris. And I didn't know, what have I doing here? Who are these people?
Yeah.
Who am I?
Yeah.
No idea.
Okay.
And the first 6 months, I was sleeping on the street.
Wow. So you were homeless?
I was homeless. I was homeless in the sense that I wouldn't really say homeless because I never had a home. I never lost a home, but people were treating me like homeless. And I had no luggage on me. And my first jacket, I had $120 that I hid in my shoe. When I removed it, I went into a jacket store in front of Garden Nord. I wanted to buy a winter jacket. Then I saw a guy, he was wearing a very big one. Then I said to him, I need one like this. He took all my money, $120 I had on me. He removed the jacket, he gave it to me. Because I was cold, I didn't have a jacket on me. Okay. And it felt so warm. Yeah. While I was in the train, something started vibrating in my pocket. He forgot his telephone and a small wallet. Inside that wallet was 800 French francs and a mobile phone. Yeah. So I picked the mobile phone. He cannot speak English. I was unable to speak French. He was unable to speak English. He gave it to another guy to try to explain to me a bit in English. They asked me where I was. I didn't know where I was. Yeah. I didn't know where I was coming from because I didn't even know the name of this train station. Yeah. I cannot even go back to this place because the metro was stopping and stopping and stopping and stopping and stopping. I didn't know where I started from, where I was going.
So then, you gave away 120, but you got 800.
I got 800. And when I saw the 800, then I said to myself, no, Mark, this is God work. So I took the cell phone. It was a Motorola. I called my family in Nigeria. Yeah. My father, he picked the phone. He said, how are you? I said, yes, everything is fine. I arrived successfully in Paris this morning. And they pick us up. He said, okay, everything is okay. I said, yes, we are going to where to stay. Right. Then with the telephone, The next day, the telephone was not working again. I didn't have no idea why it was not working, but I was still keeping the handsets because for me, it was my first mobile phone.
Yeah.
Either line
You
or
still
no
have it?
line, no, that was all the time.
It's been 20
So, but I was holding it in
Yeah.
this time. So, after the first night, I slept in the telephone booth.
Okay, yeah.
In the telephone booth, I slept.
Yeah.
It was very cold. Then the next day, I was controlled by this train controller. Then they took me to the police. And then I slept in the police post.
So how did you feel at that point? Did you feel like you were in trouble? Did you feel like this was an opportunity?
Which
How-
trouble? No. What is my business with trouble?
I don't know, because they say when you hear police, some people get afraid. So
No, because, I wasn't growing up in a criminality background from
Yeah.
Nigeria. So for me, they gave me a place to stay.
So that was a good thing for you.
Yeah, they gave me a place to stay, and then they gave me something to eat,
Yeah.
a hot tea, and all. I
Yeah.
slept, but I regretted that the next day they sent me away.
Yeah.
Then they gave me a paper. They said I should call one Samu Social, I think was 119, that they will take me somewhere to sleep. I lost that paper. So the next night, I went back to the same police. I said to them, if they can give me a place to stay. They said no. Then I said, but why you don't just arrest me? I didn't buy tickets. The guy said, no, I can't do that. So I started looking for the control guys again. Then I saw them.
Yeah.
Then I went to them. I said, is a problem? I just came out of the train. I didn't have tickets. And the lady looked and said, but why you didn't buy? She was able to speak English. I said, because I didn't have no money. I mean, she said, please, next time, just buy. You can go. I said, this man is foolish. Please. Why you don't call police for me so that I have a place to stay? Yes. So
That's so funny.
I entered the train. I was tired.
Yeah.
Then I slept off. And the metro took me into a parking. That was when I discovered my new home. And some guys were coming every morning to do the cleaning. And the guy was speaking with me, and they said to me, but you speak very good English, and what is your problem exactly? Yeah. Then I explained to him. Then he said to me, but you don't need to sleep in the train. You can call this number, and they will give you a place to stay. So I will wait in front when people finish eating. Then I come to you. I say, please, I am hungry. Can you buy me food? Or can you give me money? I want to eat. Some are very sympathetic. They say, okay, take 20 French francs, take 10. But sometimes they just tell me things that I couldn't believe. You are on drugs. What are you doing? Who are you? You are begging. And some will say, go and look for a job. And the one says something, he said, look, drug is going to kill you. Now you are looking clean. If you don't stop using drugs, you will be dead. But I was not even smoking. I've never tasted alcohol before in this time. Then I start to look at myself in the mirror. So I say, so Mark, you are fooling yourself. You are looking yourself like a legend. These people are looking at you like a homeless man. Then I said, but it's not what they think about me that matters, but what I think about myself.
So at that point, you already knew that?
Yeah, I knew it. Because I knew where I'm coming from.
Yeah,
and everything changed in France. That's why they say sometimes it's good to do good. After I found a place, they are like a secure Catholic. They give you a place to stay. Yeah. I was staying there from 5 o'clock. You must go in. 9 o'clock in the morning, you have to go out. Yeah. So, but they give you a nice place to sleep and everything. After about 5 months, I made up my mind to go out of France. But I wanted to go to Holland. So I changed my French franc to Dutch gouda. So
you still had that money?
No, before then I made money a bit. I will tell you how I made that money. I was in a train station in Gadulist. Yeah. Under the train station, beside was a taxi spot where taxi drop people. And the taxi dropped a lady, an older lady. And then she was trying to take the trolley because it was free. Yeah. To put her bag inside. She was not having enough strength. So I told my friend, look, let me go to help her. Yeah. So I went, I helped her to pull the trolley out. I put the luggage inside. Then I asked her where she's going. She said, up. Then I pushed it up for her. She gave me 800 French franc. 800. Then I said to myself, something must be wrong with this number. The first time a guy forgot 800, now this woman gave me my another 800 again. Then I went back to my friend. I told him, I said, do you know that we are rich? He said, what happened? I said, I have found business for us. He told me, no, Mark, it's not like that. It's not because she gave you something that everybody's going to business. That forget that. I went back there. On that same day, I made another 200 and something. I cannot remember. Then I realized that in the Gare du Nord, you had more taxi coming than in the Gare de l'Est, because the Gare du Nord is an international place. So I migrated to the other place. Yeah. In the morning, I will stay there with the trolley. Yeah. When the taxi come, you need the help. I put it for them. Some give you 20 French francs, some 100 French francs. Because in Gare du Nord, you had a lot of international travelers. Yeah. They are leaving the country with the Eurostar train. So some of those French francs, they wouldn't need them anymore, so they just give it to you. Yeah. So I made almost 4,000 plus French francs, which then was around, I think, 1,000 Swiss francs or 1,200. I'm not sure what was the conversion then. Yeah. Then with this money, I changed to Dutch guilder with the hope I wanted to go to Holland.
So you had no plans yet, you just changed it already?
My plan for Switzerland changed 5 days before my departure.
To Holland?
Because I was in a park. I saw a guy, he came with a Poggio convertible in this time. Yeah. And then I was talking to him. Where are you from? He said, I'm from Switzerland. I said, but I want to go to Holland. He said, no, don't go to Holland. Switzerland is the best country. When you seek asylum there, they will give you a place to stay and everything. Then I asked him, how long have you been living in Switzerland? He said 2 years, that he was 6 months in asylum, he got married. And I said, but this car is your car? He said, yes. Then I told my friend, I said, Guy.
Let's go to Switzerland.
I said, Guy, look at this Gambia guy. He said he's in this country since. You and I, we are 1 year in this place. We don't even have a tire. And I have not even seen anybody driving this kind of car, even the one we met here. Yeah. So it means probably we will not be like this guy if we are still staying here. It's a good idea that we are going to another country, but why we don't go to a trusted country where we've seen somebody who came from there, instead of going to Holland where we have no idea? Yeah. He said, no.
Just keep your contact with the man?
No. That was the end. It ended in the park. Okay. Then, I don't know, something just told me I should move. So together with my friend, we decided to go to Holland, but I changed my mind. Then I moved to Switzerland. I came to Switzerland, and I arrived in Geneva. Wow. I arrived in Geneva. When I arrived in Geneva, the guys, they couldn't speak English, and they were looking at my passport, and they called forward the guys, they were looking at me. So, and after, I think one just looked at me, just said something in French, and they said, I can go. Go to where? I took the train, but then I had an idea how Europe functions, right? So I took the train from Geneva. I already asked people, they say, okay, you have to go to Zurich. If you just meet any police, better go to the German side because it's much. So I took the train from Geneva.
So they told you it was better to go to the German side of Switzerland than the French side in terms of...
asylum procedure.
Was that accurate?
I don't know, but that was what I was told in this time. So I went directly to Zurich. So in Zurich, Bahnhof, I was sitting, the police passed. They looked at me. And when they came, they asked me, they greeted me politely. I answered, what am I doing here? I said, I'm a refugee. So they took me to the station, they searched me. And the next day, they bought me tickets and sent me to Crosslingen. After 6 days, they posted me to Bern, to Konis, to be precise. Yeah. I was posted to the same place I'm living now, to the same city, Konis. They posted me to Konis. Yeah. So that was why I started living in Benin as a refugee.
Wow. So how far in your journey was this at this point? How many months had you been in Europe before you arrived to Bern?
You mean almost 1 year?
Almost 1 year.
Almost 1 year.
So you stayed in the in Königs for how long?
It wasn't long because it was the first transit, maybe like 3 months. Yeah. Then they post me to Weissensteinstrasse again in the real Azir camp. We were like 4 people in the room, but a lot of people in the building. Then after that, they gave me a flat in Belp. It was a 2-bedroom flat together with another Guinea guy, but this guy never stayed. I don't know where he lives. We were supposed to be flatmates, so I was alone in a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
Living alone, I had 1 room, he had 1, but he was never there.
So you didn't stay in the asylum center for a long time before you had your own flat?
They sent me to Belp.
Before you had your,
yes,
your own
I
flat.
stayed maybe like 4 months,
Okay.
and then they sent me to my own
Okay,
apartment flat.
interesting. So what was the main realization or the key point that made you, that was pivotal for you at that moment when you were in Switzerland?
You know, I realized that Switzerland and France is not the same country. Structurally, economically, the people, the society is just very different. But what I just observed was that Switzerland was or is more organized than France.
Yeah.
And very generous in looking after you. In my time, I can't tell now, maybe a lot of things change for sure.
Yeah.
But during my time, the procedure was nice. But then you had this problem that they speak different language.
Yeah.
And you can understand the German very easily. But positive note, almost every Swiss person I spoke with can speak English, or they try to speak English, which is and that was how I could find my way here in Switzerland.
Okay, good. So we know that at some point in your journey, you were deported from Switzerland back to Nigeria.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit more about that.
You know, I was using the document of my friend, so police found me with the document of somebody else.
The passport?
Ausweis.
Oh, okay.
The resident permit.
You still had the
because mine was finished. I got my own asylum document, a white paper, then I got the permit N. Then after they stopped it, they wrote me a letter, then I disappeared. I left my asylum home, I disappeared. Nobody knew where I was. Then one day, police controlled me, but I had a document of my friend, another friend that I met. And when they controlled me, this police knew this asylum center. And he asked me, what is the name of your chef? And I didn't know it. He said, but you are in this asylum center in Spitz. Do you know Mr. This? I said, no. Then what is the name of your chef? I didn't know it. Then he suspected me. That was when they took my fingerprints and they said, you are Mark Emmanuel. That was the last time I saw outside then. Wow. And then they put me in the cell for 2 weeks, waiting for the plane. 2 weeks after, I was deported. But before I was deported, I wrote something on the wall.
Of the jail?
In the jail, in the cell. I said, on the 13th of September, I will be deported to Nigeria. But I promise I will be back again. And when I come back, I will be a born-again wizard. I wrote it like that. And one of my friends, who was my very, very good friend, now though we didn't have so much contact anymore, is this guy, Fine Boy. He's a Fine Boy. Walter, exactly.
That's his name?
Yeah, it's his name. He was fortunate or unfortunately passed through the same cell quickly, and he saw it. He said, look, I saw what you wrote on the wall because I put my name under it. He saw it. So he's still the only person who can say, yes, it's true he's talking about, because I wrote it on the wall that I will be back. But I told the prison guy that I am going to be back. And he said, no, you will not be back. Because I signed a document. This is a document that when I went to the Swiss embassy on this date, and they told me that if you read that I am not allowed to come back to Switzerland for 3 years. Wow. That was after my marriage. I wanted to go and pick up visa. You understand? I thought I've married. And then
so you were already married at this point?
I got married when I was in Nigeria. My wife came, and she got married to me in Lagos. And I tried to process the documents to try to get my visa to join my family, and then they gave me this letter.
For 3 years?
Yes, like they wrote that for 3 years I cannot come back to Switzerland. And that was the turning point of my life.
Turning point of your life.
Because when I started looking spiritually with the 6 eyes, every time I'm at home, my father told me, welcome back. Start to organize your life back again. But all the time, I was looking at Switzerland from up. I said to myself, I know what to do in this country. I've used this 1 year I stayed here to study these guys.
Yeah.
And I understand them within 365 days. And I realized that you need 2 things in Switzerland. Either you get an education or you get a skill. Or you get both. Otherwise, you have no chance. So I waited 3 years. And luckily for me, my wife waited 3 years.
She waited for you all as well?
Yes.
Wow.
And after 3 years, I arrived in Switzerland.
Again?
Yes. I got the visa and I arrived in Switzerland. And when I arrived in Switzerland, they gave me these documents. If you see here, on the 10th of November, I arrived in Switzerland. 2003, I came back.
Wow.
So I was detained to be interrogated over some issues that happened during my asylum time. So during this time, they had to sell how much money they found on me. And they gave me this document. I had 5 francs.
5 francs.
That was the money I came to Switzerland with.
Yeah.
I had 5 francs on me. Because after that, they told me to sign that it was 5 francs. I said yes, and they gave it back to me. My 5 francs, then I came back. I moved back into the country. I started right away to draw my plan. I started right away. I went to the RAF. They said to me, because you've never worked before, but we will send you to language course. They sent me to the first 6 months language course. And I asked the woman, can you please help me that I can learn more? I would like to go to the university. Please, why don't you pay another 6 months for me? She told me, no, we can only pay you 6 months maximum. But by the way, it's not possible for you to go to university. Even many Swiss people don't go to university, so don't dare think about it. And can't you find a cleaning job or something like this? And she gave me some contacts. She said, you can go to this cleaning company. They are always hiring people like you. You should be able to work there.
Wow,
Then I said, yeah. I said, thank you. And I took the card from her. And this time I've started smoking a bit. I took the card she gave me. I roll it into a filter. I make a joint with it. I burn it up. I said, look at this woman. I'm burning your own dream, not mine. So that was it then. So after that, I enrolled myself.
In university?
First in the Dutch course.
In the Dutch course. You
Advanced
enrolled yourself for another 6 months?
For another 6 months. Then I started asking people, how can you get to university in Switzerland? Then I met a Turkish boy. Easier. Tayrit is his name. This guy, Koban Ahmed Tariq.
Yeah.
I met Koban
Yeah.
in the park
Yeah.
where we went to smoke. And I was asking him, how can I get to university? He said, look, I'm doing the same. But for you, you have to go to University of Freiburg to do the Vorbereitung course. It's 1 year. Then you can write either of these 2 exams, ZOP or ZMP. Zentralmittelstufeprüfung or the Central Oberstufeprüfung.
Yeah.
Then you can go to the university after this. So he was the one who told me. Then I went to this school. But this school was very expensive. It cost around 6,000 Swiss francs. And then I started thinking, how will I pay 6,000 Swiss francs? Then I started developing ideas. Then I found Caritas. I saw the FGM project they're doing. So I said, okay, I can help you to do something in this field. So then I started also the Miss Africa project. The first set of Miss Africa Switzerland took place in 2005. And in this time, I had no money at all. The candidates, they were the sponsor, they were the cleaner, photographer, choreographer. Who knows to dance, teach the ones who don't know how to dance. Who knows to cook, bring the food for the other ones. Who knows who will bring, they look for the sponsor themselves. They organize the Miss Africa themselves. They were the one, they were always asking me, Mark, what do you want? I said, okay, now we need sponsor to give us clothes. They was okay, I will speak with one of my auntie. They found sponsor. I said, okay, we need an event hall. They say it's going to cost like this. Okay, let's contribute money. Imagine candidates contributing money to organize a contest. I have never seen this kind of a team spirit before. And they organize everything.
So they were all winners at the end.
They were exactly, that was my statement. I said, in this contest, I don't think there's a winner and there's a loser. We are our winner. If I had the chance, the power, I would crown everybody tonight. But unfortunately, someone has to walk away with the crown. And that was how the night went. And so, well, I was able to pay the school fees myself. And after that, I got admitted to Benin University of Applied Science to study electrical and telecommunication engineering. I went back to the RAF lady. I told her, this is my admission letter. I got into university. Please look at it. And then she looked at it and she said, oh, congratulations, why you came here? I said, I came here to let you know that if you cannot help people to achieve their dream, please don't kill it. Then I walked away.
That's profound.
And after that, I didn't stop there. I moved then to Telebilang because then we were learning a lot of practical things and theory. I want to feel the real thing of TV. Then I went to Telebilang for another 2 years because in Telebilang, you learn what is television. So I knew how frequency works. I knew how light works. I knew how signal functions, electricity, and everything. Now, in Telebilang, you learn what is television. How the real thing transmit into reality. And with all that, I could start slowly to move into African Mirror Television. I started doing a lot of projects. I was designing ideas, but sincerely, I wasn't thinking about money.
So money, what was on your mind at that point?
I just like to create values. I want to do, when I see a society problem, I want to solve it. Because my initial reason for setting up African Mirror Television was because there was no platform where people with African descent can receive information. That was my goal. So I started providing this information to people. Then I realized that institutions needed this, and they were contracting me, they were paying me. So they were not giving me just money, they were paying for the value I created. And when that value went beyond African, I migrated in 2018 to Diaspora TV. And a lot of institutions, including Federal Office of Public Health, which we've been working with for over 10 years, and the Federal Office of the State Secretariat for Migration. I also work with them, and I also did a lot of job. For Swiss Television, I even won an award.
Wow.
We did a documentary. Then this was the Aziz Chef and the Nigeriana. We won the best non-fiction award in Europe.
Congratulations.
Yes, and I was the cameraman for the documentary. And so this is when we met together. This is Karen, she's the producer. And this is Aladubo Arimon, the former director of the State Secretary for Migration. But this time it was Federal Office of Migration.
So while funding African Mirror TV and Diaspora TV Switzerland, where did you get all this inspiration for entrepreneurship and building a successful business like you have one now? Are they books that you read on your own, or is it something that you learned at university, or is it something that came from your background in Nigeria where you always saw rich people? So where did that drive come from?
Actually, there was a book I read, and it was from Horizon Maiden Smith. It's called Pushing to the Front, Successive Achievement. I read it when I was 17. And in this book, it was like this guy was talking to me. He explained everything about who you are, what you can achieve. And then I started to see myself. I said to myself, Mark, you have one chance in this world. Do your best, be who you want to be. Otherwise, people will live this life you are dreaming to live. So whatever you're going to do to achieve it, do it. But I'm always very realistic with myself. When I wanted to build a TV station, I knew I couldn't do it without the knowledge.
Right.
So I tried to look for the knowledge. And beside that, I was funding my education by working as a photographer in the nightclub. But I never said to anybody in the club that I was in the university because there was no point for it. I was just making picture, selling picture, 5 francs in the club. I started with one club. There's this guy, this man is a very nice man, Roda Molambe in Benin. He's the owner of the Las Vegas nightclub group. I went to his club. I said to him, I want to be making picture here. He said, but, and me? I said, no, when I make the picture for the people, I will print it out. When they are showing it to people, they will be talking about your club. That is publicity for you, and people will be coming to your club. How much am I going to pay? You don't pay nothing. The people pay me for making picture for them. He said, okay, you can come if I'm not going to pay you. So he gave me the platform. Yeah. So I was going to his club. I was making picture for people. I was selling picture in the club, 5 francs. And I started making like 300 francs per night. Weekend, I can make like 800. Then I said, I started asking people, where is another club? They say, they have one club in Bill, Eden Club. I went to Eden Club. I met the owner. I saw the same idea. So I said, what am I going to do now? I went to Azil house. I said, what are you doing, my brother? You're just sleeping here. I have a job for you. Yeah. I will put you in the nightclub. I buy you a camera, a printer. I said to you, you know what? Anything you sell, we share it together. But I buy you the paper. So before you know it, I was controlling 6 nightclubs in Switzerland. Wow. All the black African club in Switzerland, I was in charge of the promo. LG Club in Zurich, I was doing it. Yeah. I was doing Las Vegas Club in Bern. I was doing El Coco in Biel, Black and White in Biel. Then Black and White was Eden Club. They changed to Black and White. Then I was doing 007. Then I moved to Lausanne again. I was in charge of Boulevard de Star, Shy Club, and Calypso Club in Geneva. And I put a lot of people there. And funny enough, the weekends, there were sales like 3,500 francs every weekend. But this I have to give also to the team and buy materials and stuff like that. And with that, I was going to school. I had a Jeep, a Chevrolet Blazer, and all my students were saying, wow, you must be very rich. So that little thing motivated me to say, look, you could do better. Then I started to organize myself to say, my kids don't have inheritance. Reason why is personal, but they don't have inheritance. I don't want them to pass through all this. Yeah. If I am poor, it's not their problem. It's not their fault. But if I pass poverty to these kids, then it's my problem. So if nobody chooses who their parent is, we brought them to this world. But I don't want them to pass through a difficult life. So I'm trying to see that they don't start from zero. At least by the time they will start their life, they should start with something.
Once you saw founders and CEOs at these clubs, or do you believe that that was something that came later on?
No, I tell you something. I wasn't brought up thinking people hate me. That's first thing about me. I always think everybody likes me. So if I like you as a white person, I had nice white ladies, nice white guys who are my friends, you know what I mean? So, and the issue of this racism is actually, it existed, or is existing. But it depends on individual cases. You know, there's a proverb in my language, in Yoruba, that said, Oko, tabasofok welokwensofen. It means when you throw a stone to a tree, the stone bounces back to you. That's what you get back. So when I see people, I radiate light, I radiate smile, and I get the favor back. Everybody who has helped me are all mixed. I have the white people who help me, I have the black people, and I have whites who doesn't want to help, maybe because I'm black or maybe because of other reason, but sometimes it's difficult to justify that if it is due to my color of my skin or it's just because they think I don't deserve to be favored in those things. But nevertheless, we all know racism existed, but we can bypass it.
Yeah.
Why? Because you always have people who will help you irrespective of your color, your ability or disability. They just want to help you. I have worked with some institutions. They are helping me to correct the documents. And they are white guys. And they said, no, look, don't write it like this. This is not a Swiss format. Our office will not approve this if it's like this. Do this, do that, do this. How will I, if you speak about racism about that person, what would be my notion? What would be my take? I think sometimes the racism experience is based on individual experience. If in your head you were already trained to think somebody else don't like you, you will always see the negativity of that person. If you don't like somebody, no matter what they do, you always will not like them. So if a white person don't like a black person, no matter what, they always find fault in you. It's the same. If black person think, oh, the white people don't like us, there is nothing to come good among them, then there is nothing, because subconsciousness don't lie. You can fake for a while, but you can fake forever. Right. They will feel something that you are not real, that you are not comfortable to be around them. I don't have a problem. You can see, this was my university class list. I am the only black guy here. I'm not just the black guy in this department. I am telling you, all the 4 years I spent there, I have never seen another black person who passed through this department. The time I was there, I was just the only thing. But I felt so confident and comfortable being around them. Yeah. If I had this feeling of, these are white people, no. They were helping me. When we have a group assignment, they help me to sort things out. Nobody ever treated me differently, because I would not take a negative action of white person as a result of my race. Yeah. It's like when you talk about police brutality and all. Sorry, where I'm from. You want to compare how Nigerian police are treating their own citizens with how Swiss police are treating even foreigners? Yeah. You see what I mean? In some countries, we read in the newspaper how your police are. Then you are coming here, you are doing as if something happened in Switzerland is the worst. Yeah. So sometimes we should also understand that here is our home, even if it's not your first home. Either it's your second home, but you are here, you are here. So the moment we show solidarity, love, and acceptance with each other, the better we move together. We cannot survive, or you cannot achieve in a place you are distracted. You cannot go far in a country where everything you see is negative and you want to radiate positive. It doesn't work. In life, we all understand, no matter the background of what you're bringing, no matter the experience you face in life, you should understand one point. We all need a negative side and a positive side and a neutral side. That is how you see the electricity, how it works. If you look at even the light itself, a light is produced from negative, positive, and neutral. So if you have a negative background or a negative past or whatever, it's a plus. Yeah. Because that is what is going to help you to light your life. Just imagine if I am born into a super rich family in Switzerland. Do you think I would be doing diaspora TV? For what?
You would be comfortable.
Because there's no challenge. Yeah. There's nothing to chase. That's why when you see many people who are from rich countries, they are very calm, very relaxed, because that thing you are planning to achieve, some people got it the day they were born. Yeah. That money you are thinking you want to make, some people got it the day they gave back to them, they got it as inheritance in their bank account. So where you are heading to, some people were there before you. But the passion of life is that, where am I going? And am I going to my own destination? Everybody will have his own journey. You will never have, nobody has a similar story with somebody else. You will have your story, your experience. I will have my story, my experience. At a point, some things could be similar, but nothing will be exactly the same. So the issue of racism, sometimes, just in my personal opinion, I tell my fellow black people, when you speak too much about racism, you are distracting yourself. Why don't you do what will change your life? You're talking about racism, creating more hatred without finding a solution. It's good to discuss it, but discuss it and find a solution. And how do you fight racism? Success is one of your key points. Why? Check out all your successful black people. If Beyonce is coming now, who do you think you will see in the concerts? It's those white guys who can afford it, and it will sold out. If Rihanna is coming, the same thing. If all your black successful people, they are coming, they are still welcoming them. So it's not sometimes not really about your color. It's about what you can do with that color. If you could do it as a black person, you will still be noticed and you will still get the treatment. I've heard people saying, no matter what you achieve in Switzerland, no matter what, they will not respect you. They don't look for respect from stranger. You need respect from your circle. And if you arrogantly want to show off everything to prove you are better than somebody or to prove you are better than others, you are not. You are just staying in that position, and that position within a blink of a eyeball. We can live here now, something can happen, and you are out. And people will say, that was that woman who was that. You will be worse and not ease. So in this regard, we all speak to the universe and say, keep blessing me, keep me where I am. But we just need to be humble. If you're humble, you can do more. When people tell me, Mark, are you a successful person? I just laugh. And I say to them, I am not a successful person. You know why? Because the word success and fool is two words that comes together. So if you ask me, am I succeeding? I say, yes, I am succeeding. But if I'm successful, no, I am not.
So even after you wrote down on the prison cell that you were going to come back as a born-again wizard,
yeah.
Do you believe you have succeeded in that?
In that aspect,
In coming back
yes.
as a born-again wizard?
Yes. There are things I've successfully accomplished. Is when you finish something, you say, I'm successful in this. But when it comes to business, I am still succeeding. Because
so at what point do you become a successful wizard?
Okay. Let's put it like this. If you talk about business,
Yeah.
if I can put my business in autopilot,
Yeah.
it means I can go anywhere I want all over the world. I just have to call one person to give me an update, and things are in autopilot, they are moving. Then the business is very successful. Then I can tell you in the business part, I am very successful because I was able to put my business in an autopilot. I can make it to make a passive income. Without me being there, the business automatically operates itself. Then you have successfully built a business.
That's key.
And if you don't see this, you start to be very arrogant. Then you start to lose everything. You start to lose focus. And don't forget, you have two elements in business success. One thing is to build it to a succeeding standard, and one thing is to make it successful. That means to keep it at that level, because it's like a gravitational force. Once you throw something up, there's always something, always acting on it. If you're doing business, the more you are trying to go, you have also another force trying to pull you down. It could be competitors. It could be the fact that you hire more people. You need to have more jobs so that these people can have something to do. And all these things are forces that run after you. Because when you grow, responsibility grow. And the bigger the responsibility, the bigger the risk. Also, the bigger the profit.
Very interesting. Well, Mark, Emmanuel, Bamidele, thank you so much for having this interview today.
Thank you.
Before we go, I would like to ask you one last question. And it's like, do you have any advice for people watching or for people who think that reaching success, however you may define it, is impossible? What advice do you have for them?
Look, everything in life is very possible. If I would talk to you, I'll tell you something. The first time I realized I could achieve greater thing was the first time I sat in the plane. Maggie, I saw a tons of metal take off at night and landed me in a destination. Then I said to myself, this was built by some guys.
Yeah.
So if they could make this possible,
Then I can.
what is building a business? What is owning something?
Yeah.
If you're watching me, just look around you. Look in your window. You see those buildings, those companies you see, they are not owned by ghosts. They are owned by people like you and I. If those people own it, you could do the same. If being successful, being rich, or having to do things is so difficult, how come we have a lot of them? In the poorest country in the world, you still find successful people. Environment matters. Switzerland gives you a leverage where you could do things. Don't block your mind out of thinking people don't like you. Don't ever think you cannot do things, because what you can achieve is on your mindset. If you think you can do it, yes, you can. The moment you start to think about it, the universe will start to magnet people to you. You start to find partners. If you want to start a business now, the moment you say, I want to start this business, I want to start a TV station, because it's in your head. You will go somewhere, you are having a chat with somebody and say, I'm planning to start an online television. The person will say, yeah, okay, I know one guy, Bamidele, maybe you can speak with him. The journey has started.
Right.
You want to start online trading company. You say, I want to start online trading company, or I want to start my own cloth line. Somebody will tell you, I know one guy is also doing clothing. You say, okay, give me his contact or our contact. And that's how you grow. That's how the universe attracts things to you. But a lot of people, they live with fear.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Fear is just something that stands before you. What is my secret? I just see the destination I'm going. I don't see obstacles.
Just the destination.
I just see my destination. I just focus on my destination. I just do everything to arrive to where I want to be. Every other thing for me is just secondary. What I will meet along the way, what will stop me along the way, it doesn't matter to me. Where I'm just focused on is that place I am going and what I want to achieve. And sincerely speaking, I have not seen, I didn't even notice any obstacles along the way.
Okay. Well, that's very interesting. Remember the advice. Stay ahead. Stay focused. Don't always look at the obstacles. Try to surmount them.
Exactly.
And remember what you want, and remember that if it's possible for someone else, it's possible for you. Thank you very much, Emmanuel.
Thank you for
coming
having me,
on your own TV show, Diaspora TV Switzerland. Again, my name is Margaret Daramola, and I was the interviewer today for Mark. Thank you all for watching, and we hope to see you next time.